everyone, it's Nicole Moss, co-founder of Moss Consulting HR Services. I'm here with Alyssa Chavez. We are here in Denver, Colorado to talk about all things HR.
Hi everyone, Alyssa here. Happy to be in Denver. Today we're going to ask Nicole a few questions. First question, what do business owners come to you with initial meetings when they're talking about benefits? What do they want to know?
I think the main thing that business owners want to talk about when we meet with them about benefits is, am I getting a good plan for a good price? Oftentimes, business owners have been with the same broker for many, many, many years, which is great. It's awesome. We love working with all kinds of brokers. But sometimes when you don't have someone evaluating your benefits on an annual basis, sometimes even twice a year, we miss opportunities to look at better plans and better pricing for the plans that our employees are on.
And I feel like also these owners genuinely want to get good pricing. They want to be competitive. They really want to do this for employees.
They do.
They just don't have the capacity, the know-how, the brain power, the bandwidth. They don't have it. We come in and say, we have that. Let us do that for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that it's kind of a misconception that employees often will say like, our benefits aren't very strong, or we're a small company, so we don't have strong benefits. That's often not the case. Many times we find that employers have an excellent benefit plan, but the employees haven't been either educated or shown how to use the plan to the best of its ability. And so what we can do is, one, we can make sure that they do have the best plan in the market at that time for the best rates by working with either your broker or other very trusted brokers that we've worked with for many, many years. But what we can also do is set up educational processes for the employees where we can sit with them and say, hey, do you know that we have this EAP program? And if you are having mental health issues, there's often free counseling in EAP systems. We can make sure that they know what their deductible is. And if there's an HRA, some people even pay back half of the deductible once it's been met. So it's a lot of the times it's just looking at the benefit program as a whole, making sure that the business owner is getting the best bang for their buck, so to speak. The employees are getting very strong benefits, and then they know how to use those benefits.
Absolutely. Question number 2, when a business owner comes to you, their renewal's coming up, benefits renewals is coming up, and they say, we just want to stick with what we have. Mm-hmm. What do you say?
I say, great. That's fine. We can definitely look at that as an option. But I think it's really good. There's a lot of avenues to this. There is a strategy to not going to market too often. And brokers don't often talk about that. They will sometimes just say, hey, we need to, the plan renewed at a normal rate. Let's just keep it where it's at. But especially since COVID, and especially for small businesses, there's been so many incredibly creative options for small to medium-sized businesses that at least look like it's worth looking at. So I'll give you an example. We are partnered with a group out of Austin called Shepherd & Walton Employee Benefits. We had a joint client together that they had a really interesting offering. They offered Sedera, which is kind of a community pool plan, and then they offered a traditional Blue Cross Blue Shield plan. And what happened with that group was more than half of the employees went to Sedera because they had not spun around the sun as many times as some of the other employees who chose to go on the traditional Blue Cross Blue Shield. And what happened was the Blue Cross Blue Shield rates got incredibly expensive because we had an older demographic that had a lot more health issues on that plan. And we had the younger, more healthy people on the Sedera plan. So our high claims on the Blue Cross Blue Shield plan was very, very high. And so with Shepherd & Walton, specifically with Kirk Ashey, who's one of the most strategic benefit brokers, I think, in the market in Austin, but possibly ever, said, hey, what if this company, it worked for this company, you have to be very careful on compliance with this, but we were able to, because of the demographic and because of the size of the company, we were able to split into 2 companies. And so what we were able to provide was a strategic solution for the demographic who was on Sedera, who they were kind of outgrowing that solution for that company, and give them a much lower rated solution that was a more traditional benefit insurance, like a benefit program. And then for the other demographic who all happened to be in the same department, we were able to carve them out into their own company. And while they did have a more expensive premium, everyone else in the company benefited from that split. And so oftentimes when a broker tells you, or if an employer is saying, hey, I really want to stay with what we have, it works, it's what our employees know, we can say, hey, we can be really strategic. There's ways to get really into the weeds and talk about the strategies of maybe splitting the company into two, or maybe having like educational practices so that the employees know how to use their benefits better, how to use their RX spend a little bit better. So I often challenge, like, if you haven't looked at your plan in a really long time, and that like in a year, that we can look at we should just look at strategy all the time. It's worst case, you stick with the same plan anyway, but at least you know, and you'll have peace of mind that we did do, I think, due diligence to the employees of making sure that we were providing them with the best option for them.
So at Moss Consulting, we work with multiple brokers. Mm-hmm. What is the benefit of having multiple partnerships there?
It's huge. So everyone's personality is different. Everybody's needs are different. Everybody's skill sets are different. And so what you'll find with Moss Consulting is we've been around, we've done HR for a really long time. And so we have a lot of partnerships in a lot of different areas. I think having partnerships with benefit brokers is so important because I think everyone should make decisions based on viable options. We like to give 3 viable options. And when businesses are evaluating brokers, we all know there's benefit brokers everywhere. And I'm sure everyone has their strengths, but when you can find people that you trust and you know how to work with them, it's so valuable. So we've spent years, over a decade, building relationships with multiple brokers. And I think that the benefit of that is everybody's different. So a business owner can say, hey, I really like the small kind of business feel of this broker. Another client may say, hey, I really need something with a big presence, and I want a brand name, and I want someone who's out buying a lot of different small businesses because I want to feel like I'm backed by a big company. And some people want something in the middle. And then there's also the broker that you work with. So one of the groups that we work closely with now is Higginbotham, who everyone you've heard, if you're especially in like the Texas area, and I think they're also in Denver, Higginbotham is big and Higginbotham is growing, and Higginbotham is known for like buying a bunch of little brokerages and creating an excellent experience for their companies, for the companies that they serve. And so we have a specific group in Dallas that we work with. And so big shout out to Ford Clemens with Higginbotham. We worked with Ford for many years now. And the benefit of having Higginbotham as a partner is they are large and they do have a huge support system around them. And so we have a shared client that we got some news back that their renewal last year was a 48% increase. And I know that many of you out there feel that because we all felt it. Increases were really high. But what Higginbotham was able to do and Ford was we were able to, negotiate with Blue Cross Blue Shield. They had a big name behind them, with Higginbotham. And while we couldn't bring the renewal rate down super low, it did help with the negotiation power. So, that's utilizing our network as Moss Consulting to make sure that our clients are getting the best, strategists and the best professionals for what they need. If we were in a smaller client, Higginbotham can help smaller clients too, but there's also smaller brokerages that better fit there. So I think that being super networked in that area, make sure that our clients get the best solution for them. And, our partners may not like to hear me say this, but this is the truth. And I think that all of our partners like us want what's best for the client, is sometimes companies outgrow their current broker. And so we can help them transition to a larger broker, and we want to keep relationships strong. So just having people that we trust and that we know that we work together is really important, but ultimately it's to make sure that the client has the best experience.
Absolutely. So you were just talking about how Moss Consulting works with multiple brokers. Mm-hmm. Can you talk more about some creative solutions that we've been a part of?
Yeah. So there is a really cool broker out of Houston. It's called McElroy Insurance, Chris McElroy, and he's kind of a one-man show. He works with a mutual client with us, and I don't know how he did it, but he found a solution that was free for the employees, and it's benefits, like employee benefits for them, where the employees pay nothing. I don't know how he did it, but I think that this is kind of a testament to having multiple partnerships. This was a particularly interesting deal because they have employees in multiple states, but they also have employees in several different countries. And so he was able to bridge that gap as well. And so you wouldn't often think of a one guy shop as someone who could have such a powerful impact, but it made a huge, huge difference for this employer who has not a whole lot of employees, which is also a challenge, as you know, with benefits, but they're also spread out. So, I think McElroy Insurance is excellent at coming up with very creative opportunities for clients and being able to be really nimble and really flexible and take the time to understand his clients' needs to give them the best solution.
I love that about Moss Consulting, that we're able to get resourceful, creative. We'll find a way to make it work.
We'll always find a way to make it work every time.
So we're out here in Denver. Yesterday, we got to meet with a bunch of great brokers at IMA.
Mm-hmm.
They have a national presence.
They do.
How does that support Moss Consulting?
I'm so glad you brought up IMA because they're the best. They're all the best, but IMA is excellent. We actually are connected through IMA here in Denver from one of a good friend and connection of mine from Dallas. His name is John Alvarez. I've known John a while, and he knew we were coming out to Denver. He was like, hey, that's where our corporate office is. You got to meet all these guys. And so we met, you and I and Steve and Tori met with them yesterday. And IMA is another one of those big firms that hires incredible people. And they can help with an array of solutions. So benefits, employee benefits, 401k solutions. They help with mergers and acquisitions. They help with 401ks. They help with just so many things. And they are advisors and consultants, but they're also, they're considered producers because they go out and find new clients to serve. But the presence of IMA being a national brand is excellent because we have clients in multiple states, and we have our clients have employees in multiple states. And so IMA has been an excellent resource for us when I'm not sure what to do with a certain client or if they have a reach, even if we're not working with IMA. John and his team, and there's Michael Waldman out of Dallas, out of Dallas as well in Dallas, are just a wealth of knowledge and support. And so I think that when you can find a brokerage that employs incredible people, they want to help, we're out in this world together trying to support businesses, they've been excellent. And then their arms reach out into several markets and they can help plenty of our clients there.
What would you say to a business owner who comes to you and says, I feel like I'm paying too much for benefits, but I'm not getting enough for my employees out of it?
Every owner that we talk to says that. So I think one, I just want to address, like, that's very natural. And I think that it's also a testament to what we talked about earlier, that employers really care about the benefits that they're giving to their employees. They want to give them good benefits. What I would say is, let's take a look. Let's look where we are. Let's look at the last, let's look at your census. Let's look at your last renewal. Because we've been in this space for so long, we have built incredible partnerships with resources outside of brokers. So there is an incredible person in Austin named Jamie Lagarde, and he was actually the original founder of Sedera. He's become a good friend of ours. And he started a new company called Masonry Health. And what he does, he's an expert in employee benefits and the lunacy of it and the cost of it and just the whole experience. And so what he can do is be a resource to us and to our clients to just like slowly break apart what is the prescription spend? What is, the cost of, like, let's look at these high claims. He can help us create an educational plan of, like, if people really did use their benefits a little bit more, those high claims would come down. And so Jamie with Masonry Health would be an excellent solution to start with. But also I think it's just looking at the plan, looking at your demographics, looking at your last renewal, taking a look at the quarterly high claims report that gets sent, and taking a really honest look at it, which is sometimes really uncomfortable because we don't know and we can't know who these high claims are coming in for. And we shouldn't know. That's like a quality we should definitely not know. And we should never make employment decisions on that. But we need to know what's going on. And are these high claims something that education would help with, right? Get your annual every year, go to the doctor once a year, all of those things. If employees don't know, oftentimes those are free appointments for employees. And so one, I would think, let's look at the plan, let's utilize resources, and then let's educate employees to make sure that they're utilizing the plan the best that they can to help get those high claims down.
So Moss Consulting has been a part of many creative solutions. Can you tell me more about those?
We've done some really creative things with our clients, especially when it comes to benefits. I think you have to be, it's hard to think of just one, but I think that our theory as a whole is we need to be creative and we need to be flexible. And I think that what a lot of HR professionals do is you learn how to do something one way, and that's just the way that you do it. And what we've learned, especially after COVID, is that we've had to be very nimble and we've had to be able to be very flexible. And so I think the biggest thing about being creative with our clients and finding the best solutions for them is, number one, always know the parameters. We have to be compliant. We have to follow the law. But when you know when you have subject matter experts like us and the other incredible people on our Moss team, is that we can put our heads together. We're a team of 25 and growing with some really heavy hitters on our team. And so when we collaborate, it allows us to say, oh, hey, I had a client that did this at a certain point, or I was able to carve out a group of this, or we can do ICRA for these people and not these people. It's just a matter of knowing where the bounds are, being comfortable getting out of our comfort zone of doing what we've been taught to do our whole lives or our whole careers, and then exploring those options and not being scared of like giving a business owner an alternative to what they're used to as well, and explaining that in a way that makes sense. And oftentimes, in my experience, business owners are more than happy to be creative if it gives their employees a better end result and saves them money.
Nicole, what would you say to a business owner who's growing? They want to offer benefits. They just do not know where to start, where to begin.
First, I would say congratulations. That is super exciting. I'm proud to say that Moss Consulting is going through this problem right now through our growth and wanting to provide our employees the same benefits that we tell our clients that they should provide to theirs. I think you start talking to brokers. We're kind of taking the advice that we give to our clients all the time, and it's an interesting spot to be, but I can now very empathetically say this to our clients is we need to talk to multiple brokers. We need to get a feel for who's best for us and for our employees, and make sure that we're offering our employees the best benefit for the demographic that we have, which is a rather large demographic. And so it's starting with education, and it's starting with people that you trust. Luckily, we have a built-in network of a lot of people that we trust and have worked with for many, many years. But I would say reach out to us if you're out there and your business is growing really fast and you're not sure where to start. Just give us a call and we'll connect you to some really incredible brokers. And then those brokers, you get a culture fit, you get a feel for who you want to work with, who you want your team to work with, and then you start the process of giving them a census, and then they go to market and we start looking at plans. So yeah, that's what I would start. Call us and we'll give you connections.
So once business owners are in the process of shopping around, reaching out, how does Moss Consulting support them in that stage?
Yeah, so I'm going to steal a quote from Kirk Ashey, who is the owner of Shepherd and Walton, when I was talking to him about our benefits. And I said, Kirk, I need to get you a census, but it's going to be a few days. It might even be next week. And he laughed and he said, yeah. And I'm going to butcher this quote, but he's like, the cobbler's son has no shoes. And it was kind of one of those things. And I think that that's with every business owner. As you get to this point, you need to get a census together, and that takes time, and it's reports, and it's, who are your dependents and birthdays and all of this thing. And what is a census? And so I think that what we can do, what I would suggest is you call us, we'll connect you with people, and then we could get in and pull the census for them and do the legwork, because it's not a simple thing and it does need to be right. And then, also we can explain that just because you give a census to a broker and they come back with rates, those rates are based on every single one of those people enrolling in those benefits. 100% of the time, not all the employees are going to enroll in that benefit, so the rate's going to change. And so that's always very surprising to business owners. So by preparing the census, helping review the quotes, and then prepping them like, hey, this rate is probably going to go up, because when there's fewer people on the plan, the rates go up typically. We can really help guide them through the process, pull all of the data that's needed to get the process going, and then work through until we make the decision for the benefit for the employee. So Alyssa, as you were our first ever employee at Moss Consulting, and you've been with us the longest, the OG, so to speak, and you came to us with some HR experience, but not a whole lot. And then you and I put you in a pressure cooker, and now you've gone from what would be considered an HR generalist to like a full-blown HR manager. Can you just talk through what that progression looks like with us? And you did have a very accelerated pace because we were moving fast, but talk to us about that and what it means to be an HR manager with Moss Consulting.
Yeah, I was in the accelerator program.
Yeah, you were in the accelerator program.
It's been great to start from the ground up, to start from shadowing you, listening to you, going to client meetings, and growing from there. I was just sharing with Tori earlier how the first couple years felt like I was just learning, absorbing, training, growing. And now that we're in a great spot where we're growing, I can really apply everything that I've been learning about and with you and by shadowing you and being around you guys. Now it's really exciting where I get to really apply a lot of the knowledge that I've learned, a lot of the experiences that I've learned, and I take that And I just apply the best service, the best knowledge, the best guesstimations to our to our new clients. So yeah, it's been a great process to learn and grow. It's really exciting to learn new clients, get to know new business owners, and see how they work, what they need. And I get to pull from past experiences where, oh, I've been in this situation where benefits are brand new. I've never shopped around at all. Where do I start? I've been in that experience before where I can tell you exactly where to start, where I can tell you, this is the process. We'll write it all out for you and we'll follow it with you. So it's been great to be able to pull from those experiences, apply them to our new clients, and also pull that knowledge from our team that's really knowledgeable, has so much different background and perspectives and processes and paces. Everyone's different. Yeah. And I'm in a great spot where I get to learn from those people and pull from their knowledge. And everyone on our team is a problem solver and is helpful and is strategic. And I think they're here because they are like that. And they were drawn to Moss Consulting because that's the type of people they are. So it's great to work with such a powerful team. It's small, but it's growing. I mean, it's not that small anymore.
Yeah, it grew fast.
It's growing. And I feel like there's just a wealth of knowledge that if I don't know something, I'm going to ask the person right next to me, or I'm going to team someone and they're going to be able to give me a wealth of knowledge. And I'm going to apply that to whatever question that business owner or client had.
Yeah, I love it. We have a deep bench of incredibly experienced, very educated, very driven people. And I think that from the HR manager perspective, it's how we kind of work is we bring people in generally like as an HR generalist, which is someone who knows a little bit. They're generalists. They generally know the lay of the land when it comes to HR. So they can help with payroll, they can help with benefits, they can help with employee relations issues. And as you've moved into an HR manager, and as everyone moves into an HR manager, it's kind of the buck kind of stops with you. That's your client. So like there's a lot of we were talking about it the other day, like there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. It's not just, oh, HR is, I think that HR is often thought about as it's more of an administrative function. It is so not. It is such a strategic point in any business that in order to do well, you need compassion. You need to be strategic. You have to have these wild experiences that we get to go on with employees and with business owners. But with Moss Consulting as an HR manager, it is that is your client. If something goes wrong, it is on you. If something goes right, it is also on you. We love to celebrate both things. We're learning from mistakes, but we're also celebrating the wins. And we have the team of generalists that work with all the HR managers to make sure that like the job gets done. But overall, it's been really fun to watch you move into this. Like you have clients that are solely yours that you manage and they call you, and it's been so fun to watch. And it's the same with all of our HR managers and our generalists. It's been such a collaborative team, like to your point, that we all have different knowledges. We all have different backgrounds. We've all worked in different industry. And at this point, we're all still surprised that we're surprised every day with what we deal with. And anyone in HR will absolutely, that will resonate with them. But with the experience and kind of the heavy, like the deep team that we have of experience and knowledge, there's very few things I think that could come up that we wouldn't have someone on our team know how to like navigate, which is really cool. So when you work with Moss Consulting, you get one HR manager, which is your one point of contact, but behind that manager is a team of 25, soon to be 30, soon to be sky's the limit amount of incredible HR professionals that can help solve problems that there's nothing that we can't help you get through. Alyssa, thank you so much for joining us here in Denver, Colorado. It is so fun to work and travel with you. It's also been excellent to talk about benefits and your experience with Moss Consulting as an HR manager and how we help our clients specifically with employee benefits.
It's fast, it's fun, it's the